I'm Jill Davis. Welcome to Photos from Boxes to Books, another informative video for beginners from Scrapbook.com. Scrapbooking is all about photos and the memories that are associated with them. Let's take a look at some of the helpful ideas that will help you to get your photos gathered, backed up, printed, sorted, organized, stored, and then scrapbooked. The key to scrapbooking is to keep your photos in a safe environment and then get them into a place where you can tell the story about the people that are in the photos. Here we have a box of photos that were taken with the film camera. We have slides and then the negatives. The unfortunate thing about these photos is you can see how wonderful they are, great historical information there, but when you turn it over, only the names of the people are listed on the back, no surname, no date. So this information is going to have to be found through other relatives of mine and my husband's. Here's another interesting photo. You can see that there's Model T Fords in here, but again, nothing on the back. Another interesting thing about photos, and as I go through these boxes myself, I will be using a photo marking pen to go in and mark the names and the dates, and I usually do who, what, when, where, how, why, and then feelings and thoughts that I might have accumulated from relatives that might know information. So once the photo is marked, then I get it into a box or a storage system. But even before I do that, I will check to see if the format that it's stored in is safe, and I can do that by using a pH testing pen. This has a chemical solution in it that's safe, but it will tell me if this photo mat and carrier that this portrait is housed in is going to be safe to keep it in. So if the line that I draw is purple or turns just to blue, this is a non-acidic or a pH neutral storage place, and I will keep the photo there. If it turns yellow or no line, then I want to take it out. You can see what's happened here. This is a completely acidic environment for this photo, so I will want to remove that photo and get it into safe storage. Now, with the dawn of digital photography, we now have a digital situation where we don't have to process and store our photos in the same ways. We no longer have negatives, and negatives need to be stored in separate from your photos, so that if any kind of a disaster strikes your home or the place where you store these, that you don't have to worry about it. I store mine in their negative sleeves, but I also test them with a pH testing pen to make sure that the environment, the envelope is safe. And then I label each with the appropriate place, who this was, and the date. Then I'm able to find the photo in a later system that I'm going to show you if I need to find the photos or have prints made. With digital photography, we have an interesting concept now. All of these photos could be scanned and put into my computer, and then I need to get them into an off-site storage, which would be carbonite.com or mosey.com. For an annual fee, I can keep all of this information stored there, and even all the information on my computer, not just photos. So we put all of ours on Carbonite, and now I can retrieve my photos. And using a free service from Google, I use Picasa, where I store and organize and sort all of my digital photography and these photos that have been processed and scanned. Once your photos are backed up, then it's important that you print them. One of the interesting things about the increase in technology and with digital photography is that we don't print our photos out. That's the stopping point for scrapbooking. So it's important to get your photos printed. I do that at snapfish.com or shutterfly.com, or I have some places locally that will print and I can go pick them up. Once I get those prints back, then I want to sort them by chronological, by year, and then chronology within that year, or by event. It's up to you how you want to do that. You want to put them into a place then where they're organized. A couple of options that you have, and that I do, is with my digital photography, I like to store them in these binders. They're 3 rings, so I can take them apart and replace photos as I need them. There's also several photos behind each other of certain events. so that I can get to them if I need them. And the interesting thing about this is that my family can use them right now. They can take them out and enjoy them just as photos, and they're not stuck in my computer. Another option is when you're doing ancestral pictures or heirloom pictures or vintage pictures, is that you store them separately. Here we have from this same group of family pictures that were given to us. This is where I will file these pictures. So this one, once it's been labeled on the back, will be slipped in here. And the larger photos will be put into an acid-free environment and slipped inside a drawer in under family or ancestors, so I know that it's there. Another option to store your photos is in a smaller format. These are called 3-ups, and you can put 6 4x6 photos in here, or a panoramic photo. And then at the back, you have a place to do your CDs and your negatives. So this is a really nice storage system also. The next step I take is to take a photo from this environment, my photo albums, into a storage system so that I can get to photos when I want to scrapbook them. Now remember, you don't have to scrapbook every photo that you own. I just scrapbook those that have special meaning, that show the family personality, that show individual personalities, that are milestones for each family member. That way, my kids don't need a forklift when they want to take their albums out on their own. They'll have very significant albums. So I would take this photo, let's give an example of that. Take a photo similar to this, an ancestral photo, and I would put it under my tab that says Ancestors. And then I know that this photo was significant. I found out the information about it, and I'm going to slip it in, and I know that it's there, and I can scrapbook when I get a minute. Now I have a system that I can work with. They aren't photos that are randomly placed in a box. They're safe. They're organized so that I can at any time come in here and pick out a photo that I want to scrapbook, or a group or series of photos. Now, here's the interesting thing. I am now able to take this photo and put it in an album with a story, and it's not a memory of someone that's lost in a box of photos. Because I've backed this up, I can now send copies to anybody who asks for them. If they want a picture of Grandma Mary, I have one and I can send it to them. Using the concept of scanning, I also scanned her, this is a handkerchief that Mary embroidered, and it's a copy of it here, and the actual handkerchief is home in a safe place. And one of my children will receive that, and when they receive that, they will also receive this layout that tells about the creator. Another question you might have is what to do with big portraits that you no longer have up on your wall. I have taken mine and put them in a portfolio. It's not acid-free yet, but I'm not intending to use these photos in the future, except for family reunions, where it would be fun to bring all these photos out for people to see. But I sandwiched them in between mat board that's been joined together, fold it up, put some handles on this, and I drop it behind my couch. It includes all the dust. Thank you for joining us.